All right, hey everyone, we're group LeakTech and we're going to talk about step 9. So the purpose of this chapter is to identify at least 10 new customers to fact check any of your assumptions to date, as well as your persona. This prevents market failures as you are not heading into development or sales with the wrong customer base or customer needs driving the product. So to do this, we start completing the steps. First would be list more than 10 potential customers and info about them. Then contact each of the customers and present full life cycle use case, high-level product specs, and quantified value proposition. If a customer validates your hypothesis, ask if they would consider buying the product. Then, if the feedback does not align with assumptions, take notes and try to understand how it affects analysis. Then you would go back and modify earlier assumptions based on new data, determine whether to contact new customers. The end goal is 10 similar customers with true interest in the product. If you can't find 10, reconsider the beachhead market. And then do not share list or data outside of the company.
So the next section talks about the validity of the persona. And basically what it said is that it's reasonable to end up with a totally new persona at the end of this step. Because the point of it is to determine whether or not your persona is really a good representation of your target customer. Sometimes we get it wrong, and this step allows us to make a correction before we move forward. After that, it talked about negative feedback and the importance of that. And basically, it just said that negative feedback or feedback that simply doesn't align with your assumptions is not a bad thing. Rather, it gives us a new heading or even like a correction to what we thought to move in. It's integral to a team's success, and how we react to it is as important as the information. If we continue without listening or changing what we think, we're pretty much doomed to fail.
So a good example of success is the methane capture of landfill site example. We followed their plan to a T. They got a list of 10 promising landfill sites, and after contacting them, they got a positive response from 8. And they also went as far as to get letters of intent from more than half. So this acted as a confidence boost for the team and pushed them forward.
And then another example is the Visual Arts Academy example. This is still a story of success, but not to the same extent. The company was intended to offer training into the arts for wealthy students, but the team found that the parents were more than willing to pay for the service, and money was not an issue. The problem arose with the artists themselves, as getting them to be there reliably for a good price made the business venture more difficult. Because they were able to figure this out before heading to market, it allowed them to make adjustments and have a greater understanding of the potential problems that could arise. So in conclusion, identifying and interviewing the next 10 customers acts as a fail-safe against having to market with bad information. This checks your persona and other assumptions to make sure any decisions you're making or will make are based off a solid foundation.